Hey, what's up, VC? It's Steve again, and it's time for another quick album review. This time we're going to be reviewing Accept's Blind Rage. Excuse me looking down every once in a while here. I've got the notes here in front of me. I've gotten a lot of good feedback about my reviews, so I'm going to try to do, try to do at least one a month, maybe one every 2 weeks. I've gotten a lot of requests for different albums already, which is very cool. If there are some albums you want me to review, definitely let me know and I'll put those on my list. This is an album that has been requested, but it's one that I was already going to review because it was an album that I was really excited about hearing. So I finally, I downloaded it 2 days ago, and I have listened to it nonstop since. Again, it's Accept's Blind Rage. If you're not familiar with Accept or familiar with modern Accept, there's been a major change in the lineup, and I believe it was 2 albums ago that happened. And that was Udo had come back to the band. He left again, and Mark Tornillo, I'm not sure how he says it, but Mark Tornillo took over on vocals. His last 2 albums, he sounded great, but I was still kind of longing for Udo. Even though they both have very different sounds. It's funny, people used to say that Udo sounded just like Brian Johnson from AC/DC. I actually think that Mark Tornillo sounds a little bit more like Brian Johnson than Udo does. But that's just kind of a side note. In this album, Mark Tornillo completely comes into his own. This is his best album with the band by far. The vocals on this album from beginning to end are amazing. The harmonizing between him and the backup singers and him and the instrumentation, amazing, top notch. By far Mark's best performance. Most of you have heard the first single, which is Stampede. I've seen a lot of reviews on it. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people said it was good. It sounds like the last couple albums, and that's actually very true. That's the Stampede is the first song, and then Dying Breed is the second. Those 2 songs are very in line with the last couple of albums. They're both great tracks. The only thing I didn't like about the first one, Stampede, is there's that. What's the word I'm looking for? Almost like melodic metal or that organ type intro, which I'm not really a fan of. I think if that had been left out of the song would have been better. But as a whole, it's a good song. Dying Breed, again, another great song. It's a little slower than Stampede, but it's in that same vein. Where this album really takes off is track 3, and that's Dark Side of My Heart. As soon as that track hit, I was like, oh my God, here we go. I was excited as soon as I heard that song. Within the first couple riffs, I was like, oh, this is it. And it just kept going for the rest of the album. This album, let me start with this. As I mentioned a minute ago, Stampede and Dying Breed are definitely more the sound of the last couple Accept albums. As soon as Dark Side of My Heart kicks in, I noticed something. I was listening to the riffs. I was listening to the instrumentation, and it kind of reminded me of Metal Heart era Accept, which is my favorite era of Accept, and it just keeps going. And it's not an emulation. This is modern day. This is the way they wanted Metal Heart to sound, but they didn't have the technology yet to make it sound this good. This album, from Dark Side of My Heart through Final Journey, which is the final track, is a masterpiece. Every song is amazing. Dark Side of My Heart and Trail of Tears are probably the 2 highest points for me. Dark Side of My Heart, not because it's the best song on here, it's more because as soon as that song hits, you're just like, oh yeah, here, it's time for the journey to begin. It's just something about that song hitting or kicking in, and you know that you're going to a different place with the rest of the album. So it's just kind of, maybe that's why that one sticks out to me, because every time I've listened to it, I get to that song and I'm like, oh, here we go. Um, and then Trail of Tears is track number 5. It's just a killer track, and I like it beginning to end. Wolf Hoffman, and Peter, the 2 original Accept members, uh, amazing. Honestly, Wolf Hoffman, anything that he does, I can't find a fault in anything he's written. His riffs are just amazing, and the bass, just instrumentation on this album is amazing from beginning to end. Also, going back to song number 2, Dying Breed, they actually give a shout out to Lemmy and Motorhead too, by inserting the lyrics Ace of Spades in there. I thought that was kind of cool too. Like I said, this is just Metal Heart era. Accept. This is Accept at their best. And speaking of at their best, I would venture to say this is probably the best Accept album. And that's saying a lot. I heard a lot of people talk about their last album like that was kind of their best album. I didn't think so. This one, and a lot of it was because I just don't think Mark Tornillo was all the way there yet. I still preferred Udo to him. And this is the first time where I was just like, Mark is the man. Especially, like I said, when Dark Side of My Heart kicks in, the vocals are amazing. The guitar riffs are amazing. The drum tracks are amazing. Honestly, this is just a killer album beginning to end. This is my new favorite Accept. Prior to this, Metal Heart was my favorite. I actually like this better than Metal Heart. And that's saying a lot, because when I got Metal Heart, I listened to that nonstop for probably 8-9 months. I mean, that never left my tape deck. Never left my tape deck. This album is amazing. It's a great album. The lyrics, the stories are great. Like I said, Mark Tornillo's vocals, the backing vocals are amazing. The production is killer on this. Even the album artwork I really dig. Let's see. That's pretty much it, guys. I would actually probably say that this is the best metal album of the year so far. We still got plenty of time to go, and there's still some albums that I'm really looking forward to hearing. But so far this year, I would put this at the top of my list for best metal album. Go ahead and comment. Tell me what you think as you guys listen to it. If you agree, disagree, let me know. Let's get a discussion going. Once